All right, we're back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast, bringing you our third segment, which is going to be talking about some NL award predictions. Now, we just did AL award predictions, so it's only fitting to do NL and talk about the guys I think are going to win and be involved. So, yeah, let's get into it. First, we're going to be starting off, like we did last time, with the Rookie of the Year predictions. So, first, we're going to do, again, 3-1, and then after one, we'll be talking about some other candidates I had that just missed the rankings. So, for number 3, for the NL Rookie of the Year predictions, I have from the San Francisco Giants, Kyle Harrison. Now, Kyle Harrison is a guy I've been very high on for a number of years now. A big, huge lefty arm, a very intimidating presence on the mound, almost like Randy Johnson, but has some amazing pitches. I think is truly going to break out this year with the Giants. I think he's going to have a lot of opportunities with them because of the injuries they've had to their pitching staff. So I'm very excited to watch Kyle Harrison pitch. Like I said, I think he's going to get a big opportunity to be a big part of that rotation this year because of the injuries they have suffered to their team. And I think he's going to run with them. I think he's going to be an amazing pitcher and a guy I'm really excited to watch, and I think will be very involved in the voting of NL Rookie of the Year. At number 2, I have from the San Diego Padres, Jackson Merrill. Jackson Merrill has been one of the top prospects in baseball for a little while now, and I think it's going to translate this year to Rookie of the Year voting, where I have him finishing number 2. Frankly, I think he's going to be absolutely incredible. I think he's going to really run with the job as the Padres starting center fielder forever long that look lasts. If they end up moving on from Ha-Sung Kim in the offseason, he'll probably be shortstop. So, sorry for moving around, by the way, if you're watching on stream or my audio was a little weird there. But keep going with that. I think Merrill possesses an amazing hitting tool. I think he's an amazing defender. I think he's extremely athletic. But again, I just think his hitting tool is really what's going to put him out there. I think he's a perennial 20-homer guy, probably going to have 5 WAR in his prime every single year. Just an outstanding player in Jackson Merrill. I think the Padres got lucky with another superstar young player. So, yeah, I think Jackson Merrill is absolutely outstanding, and I have him number 2. In any other year, I probably would have had him number 1, but we have a special Rookie of the Year this year who I have finishing number 1, and that is from the Los Angeles Dodgers, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Now, I have Yamamoto being the Rookie of the Year for pretty simple reasons. I think he's going to elevate himself to be a top 5 pitcher in baseball this year. I think he's absolutely incredible. I think that the slow start he had is called for some worry, I guess, in very, very minuscule standards, but I think overall he's an outstanding pitcher, an outstanding player. He's going to be the true ace of the Dodgers rotation very, very soon. He was the greatest pitcher in Japan probably ever and came over, and I think people are really underestimating how good he's actually going to be. He shouldn't really even be considered a rookie because he played in Japan, but he is technically by MLB standards. So if he is, I'm having him win a Rookie of the Year. I think he's absolutely incredible. I think he's an amazing pitcher, going to be one of the top pitchers in baseball by the end of this year. So, yeah, can't say enough about him, how amazing Yamamoto is and how amazing his pitches are. So, I have him winning Rookie of the Year for the Dodgers, and I think he's absolutely incredible. Some other candidates I wanted to mention that I was close to putting on here: Jung-Hoo Lee, Jackson Chourio, Shota Imanaga, Paul Skeens, Pete Armstrong, James Wood, and Dylan Cruz. I think all these guys are amazing talents and amazing players. I just couldn't find anywhere to put them in these top 3 because I think these 3 guys are going to elevate themselves from the pack and just be absolutely amazing. I'm realizing now how much young talent there is this year in the major leagues. I mean, it's just incredible how many great young players are coming up and are going to factor in with their team season so much. So, great time to be a baseball fan and great time to watch all these young players become really, really good. So, super excited for that. Next, we're going to be talking about the NL Cy Young predictions I have. So first, we'll be going with number 3, of course. And by the way, for NL Rookie of the Year, yes, I did have them all from the NL West. Just happened like that. It's the same thing with the Cy Young, having them from all of them from the Central. So, yeah, and believe me, it's not the last time that happens here. So, it might happen with the NL Cy Young predictions. Wink, wink. So, at number 3, I have in the NL Cy Young predictions from the Miami Marlins, Jesus Luzardo. Luzardo was a guy who was a top prospect in Washington and Oakland, was kind of flailing out in Oakland a little bit, was not really living up to his potential, was not pitching all that well, and I kind of thought wasn't going to ever live up to his potential. So when they traded him to Miami for Starling Marte, I thought really nothing of it. I was like, okay, good get by the A's. They wanted to move on from Luzardo. No big deal. And wow, has that been an amazing trade for the Marlins. Luzardo has really broken out since coming back home to South Florida, and it's just been overall has been amazing. I mean, he's just been elite since coming over there, forming a dynamic top two with Sandy Alcantara. And with Alcantara now out for the entire season, I think Luzardo is going to take the reins back as the ace pitcher of that Marlins pitching staff and is going to perform absolutely incredible. I think he's going to be in trade talks all year, but that doesn't matter because I think he's going to go through that and be in Cy Young discussions. So, yeah, I think he's going to be absolutely incredible. I'm very high on him for the season. I'm very excited to watch him overall. So, yeah, really excited to watch Luzardo, and I think with Alcantara being out and all the injuries they've had, he's going to take the reins as being one of the aces of that Marlins pitching staff and just make it even better when Sandy does come back fully healthy. Number 2, I have from the Philadelphia Phillies, Zach Wheeler. No, nothing much to say here. Will is one of the better pitchers in baseball, has been for a little while now, has been in Cy Young discussions really his entire time in Philadelphia, is absolutely incredible, is a top 3 pitcher in baseball right now, is one of the elite, truly elite guys, true ace guys. So, yeah, I'm nothing much to say here again about Wheeler. I think he's an absolute incredible talent and a guy I'm really, really looking forward to watching this year, and I think will do a lot of good for the Phillies and is going to be an incredible player. At number 1, that's the player I have winning the NL Cy Young from the Atlanta Braves, not Spencer Strider, it will be Max Fried. Now, Max Fried is a great player and a great pitcher, and I think with him being a free agent next year, he's going to have a chip on his shoulder and is going to absolutely be amazing and is going to win the Cy Young for the Braves and get them another big ace in that rotation, which he already was, but to form a dynamic duo with Strider. I think this mainly comes down to him being a free agent next year, wanting as big of a paycheck as possible, probably not going back to Atlanta, kind of showing them, okay, you screwed up with not extending me like everyone else. And I'm really looking forward to watching him this year. I think this is the year he finally gets that Cy Young and cashes in on that market next year. A lot of teams are going to be looking for starting pitching, and I think Fried is going to be one of the top guys on the market and is going to be very, very good. Some other candidates I wanted to mention but couldn't find a spot for: Zach Gallen, Spencer Strider, Dylan Cease, and Logan Webb. I think all these guys are incredible and are great pitchers, but overall just couldn't find a spot for them on the list for NL Cy Young. Now we got to the big one, the NL MVP. At number 3, by the way, from NL Cy Young, yes, I again did have it all from one division, the NL East. Again, it just happens like this. Divisions have good pitchers or have good skill sets. I don't really know what to say about that. So, sorry. For the NL MVP at number 3, I have from the Arizona Diamondbacks, Corbin Carroll. Corbin Carroll's insane. He's incredible. He's an amazing player. And not much to say about him. He broke out last year after getting a huge extension from the Diamondbacks last offseason, the year before he came up, was a top prospect in baseball for a long time and showed why coming up this year. Was just insane. Broke out to degrees I did not think were imaginable. Got his team to the World Series in year 1. Like, he was just an insane player. Was absolutely incredible, and that is the reason I have him number 3. I think he's going to continue that breakout and break it even more this year, being in the sophomore year. So you could see a little bit of a sophomore slump maybe, but I don't think so, of course, as I have him top 3 in MVP voting. So yeah, I'm really excited to watch him in the MVP, and I think he's going to be an amazing player next year. Now, the top 2 I went back and forth on who I would have winning. I think these guys are going to make up for a legendary battle in August and September, who's going to win the MVP for the NL. So I'm going to start off with number 2. Number 2, I have the reigning MVP in the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr. Now, there's not really much to say about Acuna. He won the MVP last year. He's one of the better players in baseball right now, probably the best player in baseball right now. I would probably have him at the very least, he's top 5, and that's really stretching at that point. Acuna's amazing. I don't think anyone's going to say otherwise. He's an absolutely incredible talent, insane player, and just overall incredible. So I do have him number 2, as I thought number 1 would be someone else, and I think this is no indictment on Acuna. It's just, again, there's a lot of great players in this league right now, and I think our number 2 guy is an amazing player and the guy that is going to knock off Acuna's crown for MVP. And who is that guy, you may ask? Well, He's from the San Diego Padres, and his name is Fernando Tatis Jr. I believe Tatis Jr. will win the MVP for this year in the NL. I think this is finally the year he puts it all together and wins, and I think that's one of the big reasons why the Padres are going to make a wild card spot. I think he's going to want to prove that he's the guy again in San Diego with the additions they've made over the past few years with Soto, with Machado, with some of the other big additions to the entire team as well. I think he's kind of gotten lost in that with his suspensions for PEDs, with his injuries because of motorcycle racing. He's had a rough couple of years, and I think people forget how dynamic, electric, amazing he is when he's out on the field. And I think with a full season in right field, playing amazing defense, I think he's going to finally put it all together, win MVP, have an outstanding season, hit 40 home runs, steal 60 to 70 bases, have a WRC plus of over 150. I think he's going to be absolutely incredible, and I think people are forgetting how good he is when he's on the field. I think with losing Soto, he's going to show that they don't need him. He's the guy. I think he's going to have a big chip on his shoulder for that. Him and Manny are going to form a dynamic 2-3 or 3-4 or whatever they are in the lineup. They have other great players now with Xander Bogaerts, with Ha-Sung Kim. So I think Tatis wants that crown back and wants to show everyone he's back and he is the guy we saw a few years ago. Some other candidates I thought were notable here but couldn't fit in. Of course, Shohei Ohtani. I didn't have Ohtani here because he's not pitching, and I think they're going to have a little bit of voter fatigue, not wanting to vote him in if he's not pitching. So that's kind of it, but I think he's going to be an incredible player again. Of course, I have him in other candidates, so I had Mookie Betts, Francisco Lindor, Freddie Freeman, and Matt Olson. I think all these guys are going to finish top 10, but I just think that the guys above them are better. And it's not an indictment on their talent. I still think they're incredible. It's just I think the guys above them are going to be better and going to finish above them. So recapping just a tiny bit, for NL Rookie of the Year, I have Yoshinobu Yamamoto winning. For NL Cy Young, I have Max Fried winning. And for NL MVP, I have Fernando Tatis Jr. winning. So those are my big award predictions for the year for the NL. Really excited about watching the season unfold and see if I end up being right. So, yeah. That's really it. And if you have any questions about my award predictions, if you're watching live now, please put it in the chat. I'll be happy to answer anything. So yeah, go ahead and those are my award predictions. Those are the guys I think are going to win and be the elite of the elite this year. So yeah, that's it. We're going to go to our fourth segment here now, which is going to be talking about the big news that happened last night. Jordan Montgomery signing finally and going to a team that really nobody expected, the Arizona Diamondbacks. So, yeah, we'll be talking about that. And again, if you have some questions, I'll answer it in segment 4. Please ask questions. Always makes the stream a lot better, a lot smoother. So, yeah, we'll be going to our fourth segment here, and we'll be talking about it then. So, see you after the break. Bye.